All right, man, we got to talk about the elephant in the room. We haven't talked about the Super Bowl at all until about an hour or two ago. We haven't even talked to each other. We're so pissed off. And it comes down to, what happened. It wasn't that play, but that was a huge play. Spencer Burford, your boy, out there, missing the block, and Feliciano pretty much calling him out. Now, after that play happened, I remember thinking, dude, that was freaking Spencer Burford. And then I was on Twitter, and then I was on Larry Kruger's show, and all of those guys were like, damn it, McKivitz, how could you miss that block? You're not doing nothing. I'm like, am I high? Do I not know football? I thought that was Spencer Burford's fault, but I guess, I just let it be, and I guess that was McKivitz's fault. However, the next day, we all know what happened. Feliciano pretty much said, hey, man, that was Burford's fault. But what are your thoughts on this, and what are your thoughts on Burford in general, man?
Yeah, man, obviously me and you, we weren't fans of this guy at all. When he started early in the year, we're like, man, this guy is so horrible. He keeps missing assignments. When he doesn't miss assignments, he just gets freaking demolished by the other team. He gets pushed back. It's like, man, this guy is bad. Obviously, when Feliciano came in, he kind of shirted up a little bit. Not saying he fixed the issue, because that was still our issue all year. But he was an upgrade from Spencer Burford for sure. It was weird because I was out in freaking Louisiana. I was at Mardi Gras, but I was watching Super Bowl out there. And right when he got hurt, when Feliciano got hurt, the first thing I thought in my mind was like, shit, Spencer Burford's coming in. And when the first conversation we had, I was like, hey, was the first thing you thought Spencer Burford? You're like, dude, same. And I was like, we had been talking about this all year, so it wasn't a shocker to us. And then when that final play happened, right away I knew what it was. I was like, dude, Spencer Burford missed that assignment, because had he like just not completely whiffed it, all pretty needed was 1 second, but he just let them right through. It looked like freaking Swiss cheese.
I think it's their best defensive player.
It's their best defensive player. So I was like, wow, when that happened. And typically I'm not a fan of teammates calling each other out, but in this situation you have to, because that legit cost us obviously a chance at the Super Bowl. Obviously we still have to hold them, but then you put the pressure onto the Chiefs. Now everything's against them. Obviously getting a field goal, they could get that, but a touchdown is hard sometimes. But man, what do you think?
Yeah, man, Spencer Burford, I think we're the only ones who have actually made videos specifically on Spencer Burford. Like, no, and the videos don't even do that great, because they're like, oh, it's a guard, who cares? But dude, it's such a huge ass position, and to me, I just don't get it. How in the hell does this dude start like over Feliciano? Feliciano, he's better than Brunskill, and Brunskill started above him. So I don't get what the hell's up with that. Like, to me, I look at Chris Forrester, our offensive line coach, and like, what the hell are you doing? Shanahan, what the hell are you doing? How is this guy starting? The dude sucks, man. At the end of the day, he's freaking garbage. He's one of the worst offensive linemen I've ever seen on this team. Do you remember a guy named Chilo Raquel out of USC? He's just as bad as him when we drafted his ass. Chilo Raquel coming out of USC said, I would be a gangbanger if I were in a football player. Well, bitch, you couldn't be an offensive lineman either. So to me, he reminds me of that right there. He really does. Absolutely disgusting. And I knew, right when it happened, I was watching the game with my brother. I was like, dude, Spencer Burford's in the game. He's going to F it up. And boy, did he F that up, man. To me, all that stuff, like, oh, poor Spencer Burford. Man, screw that. I'm not here for that. This ain't Intramurals. You got to make that block. And if Purdy had 1 second, Jawan Jennings was wide ass open, he would have probably got the touchdown. He could have been the MVP. I know there's other parts of the game, and it's not specifically on Burford, but he's been doing this all year, man. And this is why I've been making videos all year talking about how crappy this offensive line was, even though people have been like, why are you such a hater? It was the damn truth, man. I'm sorry, man. The truth hurts sometimes. And for that to happen, absolutely a joke. I kept saying we need to draft offensive linemen in the draft, and it didn't happen, man. We stuck with the guys that last year. And just a quick example, Spencer Burford, when they come out with the boombox, right? They all come back and they're all with their swagger. It's like, okay, these guys, they just, I don't know, the way they dance, they're coordinating stuff. Spencer Burford, he's out there dancing, has 2 left feet. It's like, dude, some of these people that don't know how to dance, don't have any rhythm. Let's be real, man, they're not athletes. That's Spencer Burford. He has like 2 left feet when he's blocking someone. He can't block someone. So to me, I've seen enough of this dude. He's not gonna get no better. At the end of the day, he's not gonna get better. It looked like he was more out of shape this year than he was last year. So I don't get it, man. I don't get it why Kyle Shanahan doesn't invest in guards, especially right guards. Remember the Super Bowl 4 years ago? who was our offensive lineman? Persons, garbage. And Chris Jones owned him again, and Jimmy G threw an interception. So it just like seems like, I don't know, deja vu. It doesn't matter. We always have crappy ass guards, and I don't get why Kyle Shanahan doesn't like investing. We got to, at some point, we got to invest in offensive linemen. Hopefully it's this year, because it seems that's our kryptonite, and I just don't get it, man.
Yeah, I think unfortunately Kyle Shanahan, I think he believes in the system a little too much, that he's like,
I
could throw anyone out there. It's a blocking system. It's going to work similar to like the Denver Broncos in the early 90s.
But they had Mark Schlereth.
But they had Schlereth. They had the guys with actual names behind them. And like you said, man, it's come back twice now in Super Bowls against the same damn Kansas City Chiefs. Chris Jones just wreaking havoc on us, because he's just, come on, he knows these guys can't block him. He's like,
oh yeah,
he's having a field day. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer for sure now, but he's looking like probably one of the greatest defensive line players of all time, because of these offensive line that we keep putting out year in, year out. And it's only going to get worse if we don't address it this offseason. I think this year we finally have a first again, right? We do
have a first.
So I believe we got to sure up probably the right guard, right?
I say right guard, center, the whole line, 4 of the 5 guys. It's kind of sad, because even Aaron Banks freaking struggled, and he was supposed to be our second best player, offensive line, and he struggled. And it sucks too, because the year when I was in love with 2 dudes. It was who was it? Rashad Slater, first round. We traded up for Trey Lance, and then Creed Humphrey, who absolutely dominated in the Super Bowl against us. His ass too. So I think we got to invest in. At the end of the day, we have to finally invest, because Brock Purdy, his ass was getting killed out there too. So it's like, dude, we need to invest in this damn offensive line. Like, we got to do something, and it hasn't happened yet. So we know what happened with Feliciano. At the end of the day, I still want to bring him back. People are like, oh, let's not bring him back. How could he do that? I mean, he apologized for anyways, but at the end of the day, I don't give a shit what he did, whether he apologized or not, man. I don't want to hear it. You got to step up. You can't be making those mistakes. And it happened all year. We act like it's the first time. His ass has done that all season long. He's been missing assignments all season long. It's like, when do we finally get a good guard again? Like these Rough Riders we used to have back in the day, like Sanders, Jeremy Newberry, Kevin Gogan. When are we going to start getting back to what got us there in the first place? So hopefully we could get some guys out there, because at the end of the day, man, I'm cutting bait. I'm definitely cutting bait with this guy, because I've seen it, man. We talked about in OTA's training camp. We had, what was that guy Davidson out of the Falcons that came in our second round pick? He was working Spencer Burford in the off season, and it was like, dude, what the hell are you doing, man? Like, your ass is getting burnt by dudes that aren't even making the team. So to me, you got to do something else, man. No question about it.
All right. Well, you guys let us know in the comments what you guys think about Spencer Burford Feliciano situation. Is Feliciano at fault? Let us know. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. See y'all next time.
Peace.